Hey guys, welcome back to my house under construction. This is the real rebuild project. And man, we just finished trim and the painters have done a phenomenal job of really making everything pop. Now, most of the trim you're seeing in my house, which is, by the way, very traditional. I do a lot of modern houses as a builder, but my own personal taste is transitional, I would call it. And I had this style of molding in a 1930s Sears and Roebuck house that I lived in Portland a few years ago. This is called Greek Revival. And my friend Brent, who's a kind of a historical craftsman builder, developed this line of moldings for Windsor 1. So most everything you're seeing in the house molding wise is of that Greek Revival package. Now I went off in a few different directions. Rachel, my interior designer, came up with this really cool pattern for this is my master bedroom. My bed will be against that wall. This ceiling is hemlock, as well as in my foyer, my dining room and kitchen, all from Delta Millworks. But when it's all put together, I absolutely love it. It's that transitional, that really, that feeling of warmth that I don't think you get in the modern houses that don't have much trim to show. Today's build show, we're gonna rewind time. I'm gonna show you how we got here. Let's get going. Okay guys, let's look at my master first and I'll kind of walk you through. Now, one thing we did very early on in construction was we made a mock-up of some of this Greek Revival trim so I could see what it was gonna look like. And honestly, so I could show my wife and my interior designer. But now that it's painted, oh, doesn't it turn out nice? I love it. So here's where we started though. This was level 5 drywall in this room. So believe it or not, this panel here, which now has been painted a higher gloss than the rest of the house, this is actually just sheetrock, nothing special here. We could have done 1/4-inch MDF, but frankly, during this time in the world, it was really hard and expensive to get that. And I thought, this is gonna work fine. I don't have a lot of raking light to show slight imperfections. So we left that level 5. And then Patrick and Dan, my carpenters who did this room, used basically just a 1x4 pattern with this inside cove to make this panelized look for the bedroom. It's not perfect though. I mean, if you look here, this panel stops and then we've got wood trim around this window. But I like how it all turns out in the end. It feels like a panelized room. Now we did start though with the ceiling. You want to do those ceilings first, especially when you have a crown molding coming up to it. And this crown molding is also from that Windsor 1 Greek Revival collection. But we did the ceiling first. We also made sure we got all the cutouts correct for the ceiling. You don't want to miss any of those during that initial carpentry phase. And then we trimmed the windows, and this window trim is pretty straightforward. This jam piece is just a 1x material. This actually could have been poplar, I can't remember. Windsor 1 makes some jam material as well. And then this casing that goes around that has a bead on it is part of that Greek Revival collection. And what you're seeing here is a back band, is what they call this. And the nice thing about a back band is it makes this 3/4 trim actually an inch thick. So if you've got trim, or I should say doors that are going to the floor, now you don't have a flush joint. I try not to do flush joints wherever possible. When you have a flush joint, it's really hard to Bondo that and make it perfect. So I'd much rather have a reveal there, put a bead of big stretch caulk, and then call it good. And that's pretty much what we've done on all my doors in the house. In fact, you can see that if we back up right here. Here's that casing coming down. Here's that back band coming down. And then this is that Greek Revival base molding as well that I put in there. Now all this built in here was built in from Patrick and Dan. Tube did this for me, and they did it in place and we sprayed it. Most of the other cabinetry in the house we installed prior to trim. And oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that we installed the floors prior to trim as well, so that I wouldn't have any additional shoe moldings or scribe moldings at the floor. So the floors were in, and then we were able to put that base molding right down onto the hardwoods. And I love that transition. Nice and crisp, nice and clean, no additional moldings needed. And then the last step on this particular room was this crown molding that we put all the way around. I just love that traditional feel of crown molding. It gives the house a little bit of extra richness and depth. And then you'll notice that all my doors, I think I talked about this in a previous video, all my doors are molded doors. These are from Geldwin. Let's see if I can pop these off. And I was able to specify when I ordered these the exact panel system that I wanted. This is a router carved door out of solid MDF. Look how nice that looks. So this has a chamfered edge here, and I made these 2-paneled doors. And I was able to specify how wide the stiles and rails were going to be. And my interior designer helped me with that, but I really like how this turned out. Everything kind of fits together nicely. All right, that's my master. Let's move on and let me show you the living room, family room. Okay, so that was my master that I just came out of, and this big space here, which I love how light it is in here, even with all the windows covered. This is my family room space, which spills into my dining room and my kitchen. And this pop-up you're seeing here is a 2-story, basically stairwell that has light coming in from both sides. And this wood that you see here is a big feature for me. I really wanted that wood on that wall to pop. And so let's actually start over here where we started on the project, because when we did layout for this, this is a shiplap profile that comes from Windsor 1. And if you're not familiar with shiplap, it's a design where one board has a rabbet on it and the next board slides into that rabbet. And so we're given this width right here from the manufacturer, and this has a predetermined, I believe that's about an 1/8 inch gap if you install it. Now you could make your own, of course, but for me it was much easier just to use theirs straight out of the box. When we did the layout, we took basically a layout board and marked where all those seams would go. And what we did was realized, hey, once we do that, we're gonna have to actually have a slightly wider starter board on this, so that as we laid this out, all this wood would lay out nicely in this area. You'll also notice Jorge, my finish carpenter, did an amazing job on these stairs, but there's a couple details that we worked on together. These are covered now, but these are finished white oak treads which match my white oak floors. The white oak floors were installed before trim, as I mentioned earlier, but then Jorge did all these stair parts on site. Now we bought all these from View Rail, if you're not familiar with those guys. They're an online retailer. They make all these in their shop in Indiana to your specifications and then ship them out to your job site. And when we installed these, I really like a screw and plug kind of format, and so that's what we did here. Each one of these treads was cut down. They gave us I was able to order the exact size, and they did the glue up for me. But then once we actually glued them into place, by the way, you want to use a really good glue like PL Max or PL Premium on your treads so they don't squeak. And then we plugged and screwed these. So when we put a screw in, we had a hole that then we cut some plugs, some wood plugs, from that same white oak material and put those in. And then you're going to notice those treads overhang here by somewhere around a 1/2 inch or so. And the risers are painted poplar, also from the View Rail people. And I brought those out about a 1/4 inch on this side right here, so that we'd have some nice crisp reveals. I don't like to make things flush. It's hard to make them look good if they're flush. I guess I mentioned that earlier in the video with the base. Same goes with these details. Now you're gonna notice this shiplap is run vertically. If this was true shiplap, like was originally intended for the product, it would have been run horizontally and you could nail that into your studs. But because this vertical design kind of draws your eyes up into that pop out, I don't have studs to nail to, which means I had to use a lot of adhesive on this. And we ended up using Loctite's Fast Grab product, which worked great for this. We basically put a horizontal bead, probably somewhere between 1 and 2 foot on center for each one of these vertical boards that we came up the wall with. And I gotta say, I was really impressed with that product. It really grabbed on tight so that we didn't have to use a bunch of finish nails through the sheetrock to hold it. It really did most of the holding power for us. And speaking of that product, we also use a lot of that when we ran our wood ceilings. I mentioned this wood ceiling in my master. We have that same ceiling here in the foyer, the kitchen, and the dining room. This is Hemlock from Delta Millworks. And we installed this from the front wall back. And again, because we have some long boards and we didn't always have things to nail to, we used a lot of that fast grab product. Oh, actually I have two right here. I believe this is leftover. Yeah, here we go. Power grab. Was I calling it the wrong thing? That's the one we use right there. I think I called it fast grab. Sorry, y'all. Power grab, all purpose. And that's really true. It really does grab on right away. Good product. I like that a lot. Okay, let's see. What else am I missing trim-wise down here? Same window trim as the other places in my house. This is also that Greek Revival package. And you notice I don't have any window trim on those kitchen windows because I have a tile backsplash that still needs to get installed. So we'll install that at a later date. But let's go upstairs and let me show you what I did in my kids' bedrooms. Okay, so when you come up that big wall that has this pop-up right here, you're gonna notice that Jorge did a really cool job of trimming out those windows where the shiplap kind of comes in. I like how that finished. And upstairs, this was kind of a last minute add. We decided to go ahead and do shiplap in this ceiling as well. I really like interesting ceilings. And for these main spaces in the house, it really felt good to me. I like this a lot. This is an upstairs family room for the kids. We've got more crystal cabinetry on this wall of the TV. And then I basically just have 3/2 bedrooms off the space. This is my daughter's bedroom. And our interior designer, Rachel, also did some cool things with this bedroom, kind of like our bedroom, where we ran a wainscoting around, but we did it a little bit higher than normal so that we could put a little bit of a shelf on the top. Let me pull this painter's tape off so you can kind of see what's happening here. This shelf is maybe 2 inches or so in thickness, and that's kind of fun. I thought my daughter might use this for a picture space, or maybe souvenirs or trophies or that sort of thing. Her bed's going on this wall, 2 windows on either side, and we ran this wainscoting all the way around. She has the same crown molding up here that really gives that traditional feel. And then her bathroom is turning out absolutely stellar. I'm loving this bathroom. The tile guys, you may have seen my tile video, they absolutely killed it up here. We've got this kind of Z-shaped tile, which looks super fun. I did a Kohler vanity here. We don't have the drawers in yet, but this got set the other day, which has a Kohler top. And this is a Roburn medicine cabinet. It's a really nice space. She's gonna love this space. I have 1 daughter and 3 boys. So she gets her own bedroom, her own bathroom. Now my boys, on the other hand, have to share a space. And while we're talking about trim, before we get into that space real quick, let me show you what we did here. These are my only, I should make a video on this. I think you, actually comment below if you're interested in seeing a video on this. I've got some different style doors going on in the house, but these are bifolds that will have linens here and then an upstairs laundry room on the other side. So I've got a stacking Miele washer and dryer in here. The other thing you're gonna notice here, there's no vent out for this space because my stacking unit is ventless. Super excited about that. But come on into my boys' bedroom space. I mentioned earlier that this is a 2/3 bedrooms upstairs. Well, here's why. I made this big bedroom a space that 3 boys could share a room. And then right here, we've got a barn door that my guys made that will slide across and open up this space, which is kind of a hangout room, a place for a friend to sleep over and have a pull-out couch here. Some desks they could use as studies. So the boys actually have a bit of a suite. But here's what I did. This house could be a 4-bedroom. It's actually currently a 3-bedroom house. So that in the future, I could wall off where this barn door is. And right here where this closet is, I actually have, right behind this door, another door blank that I ordered when I ordered all my Geldwin doors. And that door is sunk into the wall cavity. So that I could wall this off, I could open up that door, it would swing into the closet right here, and then these doors would go away, and then I'd still have a closet, and then this would be its own separate bedroom, and this would be back to a 4-bedroom house. But back to the trim that I was talking about earlier, we just did an accent wall of some vertical, this isn't shiplap, but this is a V-groove pattern. You see this a lot on ceilings. But we ran this on the bed wall. So each one of these windows here will have a bed, a twin XL bed underneath it. And then there's gonna be a switch for a sconce above so they can read. And then there's some nightstands in this room. So it's a cozy space. It's not particularly big, but we always tell our kids, hey, look, you're gonna have a roommate your whole life. Why do you get your own bedroom as a kid? Which worked out good because I have a 4-bedroom house with 4 kids. So the boys share together. They each have their own closet though, which is nice. Stay tuned for a video talking about these closet packs that we custom made, and I've got some cool hardware going on here. But that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you learned something. I do want to say a big thanks to Windsor One. They make some incredible trim. They gave me a discount on this, in full disclosure. I did not get this free, but they gave it to me at a discounted rate. But I paid full price, obviously, for all the carpentry work. And some amazing carpenters got to work on this house, or I got the privilege of having some amazing carpenters work on my house. What a privilege to have these guys who are used to working on my clients' houses actually come and build my house. And I've been building since 1995, so 26 years now as a professional builder. I've never built a house for my family. I'm one to stay put, so I'm excited about being on this house long term. Stay tuned for some more future videos though. We have a few things on this trim package that were a little hidden that I didn't tell you about. Comment below if you saw anything on the tour that you think I might have in a future video. Guys, if you're not currently a subscriber, hit that subscribe button below. We've got new content here every Tuesday and every Friday. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on The Build Show.